Hello and welcome to Reiki Women Podcasts. Today I have with me, my name's Bronwen Logan, and today I have with me Mary Riposo. Now she's from the Infinite Light Center in Fayetteville in New York State. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. Now, Mary, I think you're going to tell us a little bit about your thoughts on one of the Reiki precepts. Is that right?
Sure. The precepts are really so important to me. They're the basis of my personal practice, and they're a big part of, my teaching also. In the beginning of my introduction to Reiki, which was about 30 years ago, I think at this point, I had no idea that they even existed.
Yeah.
And when I first started training in Reiki, they were pretty glossed over. There wasn't a lot of information on them. So, for me, just learning about them, I was really curious about what more there was beyond hands-on healing with Reiki. And so I really started studying and learning a lot more once I got introduced to it. And I really feel like the precepts, they're all just precious to me, really. But I think the gratitude precept it makes me feel like energetically, like energy starts to flow more when I feel gratitude, when I put myself in that space of gratitude and just feeling grateful for the gift of Reiki. When I first came to Reiki, it was very similar to a lot of my clients. I was coming to it because I had been sick for a long time. I was out of work, and I really didn't know what kind of this was leading to in my life, whether I was going to, not be able to work, whether, what was going to happen with me. But the reason I was out was because of a lot of sensitivities I had from early on, allergies and environmental sensitivities. And really back then, they didn't really talk about that. It was, kind of there's something going on with you, but we really don't know what it is. And at one point I was working and my building started to be renovated and all kinds of toxicity coming into my body.
Yeah.
And I just got really, really sick, and I was out of work for like a month. And I remember getting a call that we can't hold your job for any longer. And they didn't really understand what was happening to me. Every time I would come back in, I would get sicker. And so I was kind of at rock bottom. And the one thing I did when I just had enough energy to get up out of bed and move around was I went to a wellness fair. And I was introduced to Reiki for the first time at that wellness fair. I didn't know what it was, but someone had a little booth with a chair set up. It was in a loud, crowded room. And I remember sitting there facing the crowd and not really knowing what was going to happen. But the woman never touched me. She did hands-off healing. And I think it might have been a 15-minute session, maybe. And at the end of the session, I felt like there was something in it for me. I don't think I could explain it, but I felt like I was infused with energy, where before that, I was feeling so down in my energy and so weak and, all of that and feeling sick. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like it started to make me feel hopeful. And so that was really kind of the beginning of my foray into Reiki. And it was just because I felt like I had nothing to lose. So many of my clients come to me in that way too and say, I'm going to try this because I've tried everything else and it hasn't worked, or it's made me feel worse, which is what was happening with me. And in that moment, I just felt this gratitude that something is happening in a positive way, coming into my life. And I felt so good about it. And I remember feeling this expansive quality. And I thought, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't seem like it's hurting me. And I feel better because of it. And so I just kind of went further into that. I sought out some more sessions, and eventually my practitioner said, you can learn this for yourself. And that was it for me. I, learned the system. At first, I didn't learn it as a system. At first, I learned it as hands-on, and that's pretty much it. But I was more curious, and I felt like there must be more to it than this, or I want to understand a little bit better. So when I started to learn, the precepts came in so strongly for me, as this is my personal practice to embody the precepts. And I remember down the road, after having received Reiki and then done Reiki training and was practicing and teaching, this one woman contacted me for a session. And she said she didn't know me. She wasn't referred to me. She just was looking something up on the internet, found my name, and found out that I was maybe close by. So she came in for a session, and she was kind of in the same situation I was in the beginning. But she had a lot of depression and felt, hopeless, that kind of thing. She wasn't physically ill, but she had a lot going on. And at the end of her session, I said, so how are you feeling? Like I do always at the end of a session. And she said, I'll never forget the words. She said, this is the first time I've ever felt like it was okay to be me. And I was like, if that's what we can get from Reiki, and to me, that's the embodiment of the precepts. It's like non-judgment, acceptance, being in the present moment. And she really was. She just received. She was in the moment, and she was really embodying herself. She was being true to herself in that moment. And that just really brought me to, wow, we can embody these precepts for ourselves and for our life and everything. But when we hold that space for someone's healing to occur at whatever level they can really receive that as well. When we try to embody them to the best of our ability, they can just start to receive that as well. And that was just that kind of drives what I do.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And as you say, something to be incredibly grateful for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just those, like a chance meeting of, going to a fair. I think a lot of people actually, have come to the system of Reiki through that, through fairs and just having that inexplicable moment of feeling that there could be something different, or I don't know, isn't it? It's just amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. And for me, in the beginning, understanding the gratitude piece was, I am grateful for all of these things in my life and for all these blessings and all of that. And I think as time has gone on, going deeper, my practice is more, I am grateful for whatever is in this moment, whether I'm kind of judging it as, ooh, this isn't feeling so great right now, or whatever it is, but just to be accepting of whatever's coming in, whatever my experience is. And that really is a practice. I'm not saying that I'm great at it or anything like that, but just to expand it out even more, to be grateful just infuses us with that energy. And it does, it feels like it's relaxes the energy field, relaxes us physically, and just you can be in the present and be more accepting of whatever is.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know why it's coming in.
Absolutely. It just allows us to be more ourselves and not to fight, but just to sit in that and be who we are.
Yes, just going back to be true to your way and your being. They all are so intertwined.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it always comes back, the gratitude piece comes back to it for me. But it brings me to all of the other ones too.
Yeah, that's
so
so
it's hard to say.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you, Mary. That was delightful. And it's nice to have always insight into obviously other people's experiences, like your experience, but also those people that you've been in contact with as well, and to understand the sort of domino effect of something like this, and how working on ourselves can make such a difference to the people around us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And a big kiss. Mwah.